Mabuhay! This is Mr. Criminology at welcome sa ating mga pag-aaral tungkol sa mga subject matters and disciplines of criminology. This is for the research of the criminology students, for the review of the future registered criminologists, and for the refresher of the registered criminologists. Today, I want to discuss to you briefly the fourth pillar of the criminal justice system, which is the correction pillar. So, class or the viewers, they call it the weakest pillar of the criminal justice system because according to the comments or the analysis, this is the correction pillar failed to reform the offender or the criminal so that he can be reformed, transformed, rehabilitated when they go back to the mainstream of society. So, to begin with, the concept of the correction pillar. This is the branch of the criminal justice system concerned with the custody, supervision, the rehabilitation of the criminal offender. So they are the one who is taking charge while they are incapacitated inside the prison or jail, and then once they are incapacitated, they are under custody, they are the ones supervising and of course rehabilitating. They are as if healing a sick person. It is the field of criminal justice or the criminal justice administration which utilizes the body of knowledge and practices of the government and the society in general involving the process of handling the individual who have been convicted of offense for the purpose of crime prevention and control. So, hindi lamang niya gusto na i-under custody at i-rehabilitate, gamutin yung area that caused the criminality of a person. But of course, a criminal, a person who commits the crime, is separated from the mainstream of society so that they can protect the society in general. It is also being done to prevent and control the criminal activities or the commission of crimes. There are three arms of the correction reforms. First, it is to provide the judges with more options to deal with offenders through the use of probation, day fines, commitment to community treatment centers, pre-trial release, and other measures short of imprisonment. So hindi lamang ang magiging option ni judge ay more on punitive, pero marami siyang magiging option when they are dealing with offenders. Pwede siyang pag first time offender, kapag na-meet niya ang qualifications, pwede siya mag-apply for probation. Pwede maging day fine, pwedeng commitment sa community treatment centers para magamot na lamang siya sa community, yung mga community-based correction or community-based na pwedeng paghihil o paggamot, pagtulong natin na makarecover ang isang taong nakagawa ng offense. And then, there are some also the pre-trial release and other measures so that we can shorten the imprisonment ng ating client or ng ating criminal. And the second aim of correction reform is to improve the condition of in prison and in jails. So of course, there are the congestion na kailangan dyan. They need to improve the housing sapagkat we know na 60 kan overpopulated, lampas-lampas capacity, and then to effective give more effective medical facilities and services sapagkat pagka nagkakasakit dyan, nagkakahawan ka agad, and then they are also giving vocational training and rehabilitation programs services. That's why inside there are livelihood programs. They can earn money while they are staying inside the prison or the jail. And the third aim of the correctional reform is to establish an integrated correction system that will ensure the development of a unified philosophy of treatment, implementation of uniform standard and policies, effective program planning and development, and efficient delivery of service to offenders while at the same time protecting the interests and welfare of the society. Sapagkat alam natin na ang correction system ng Pilipinas ay fragmented. So, iba ang ay na-handle ng Bureau of Jail Management and Penology, ibang ang ina-handle ng provincial jails, iba rin ang ina-handle ng Bucor o the Bureau of Correction. But overall, when in terms of correcting and reforming the individuals na nakakommit ng crimes, there must be an integrated correction system. Para alam natin na iisa yung philosophy, iisa yung implementation, iisa yung standards and policy para mas maging effective yung pagpaplano, yung pagde-develop, para yung delivery ng services sa ating offender ay mas maging maganda. The same time, we are protecting yung best interest of our society. In addition, the Bureau of Prison is entrusted in two broad goals. First, to segregate from society the person by who by their action have proven themselves dangerous to the society. Kung bakit sineseparate natin, sinesegregate natin yung mga taong mapanganib sapagkat they can harm the majority, yung mga nasa laya, ika nga. So if the government saw that this person is dangerous for the welfare of the majority, they will segregate them. That is the broad goal ng Bureau of Prison natin to strive at the correction of this of these prisoners with the hope that they when they return to the society they shall be able to lead a normal, well-adjusted, self-supporting and useful lives as useful and abiding citizen. So nung hiniwalay siya sa mainstream of society, the goal is gagamutin siya, i-rehabilitate siya. Pag rehabilitate siya, meron tayong hope na paglaya niya ay hindi na siya mapanganib kundi kagamit-gamit at law-abiding citizen na siya gaya ng nakararami. Now we have these important terms that need to understand. We have the word punishment. Punishment is the redress that the state takes against the offending member of the society that usually involves pain and suffering. So punishment from the word pina ay to inflict pain or suffering. So syempre, ito yung ginagamit ng Estado, ng state, the Republic of the Philippines, laban sa offending member ng kanyang society na bilang kabayaran, meron tong pain and suffering na i-inflict sa kanya as a consequence ng kanyang criminal acts. Penalty, on the other hand, it refers to the consequences that follow the transgression of the law, the judicial punishment for crime or the violation of law. Now, under the judiciary ng ating bansa, ay meron binibigyan to ng judicial power ang korte. The court once hear, try, and decide the cases, saka siya magbibigay ng consequences or ng kabayaran doon sa transgression o paglabag niya ng batas. Judicial punishment for the crimes committed in violation of the law, it is called penalty. Imprisonment, on the other hand, it is the state or the condition of being constrained, restrained, or incarcerated in a room or a building, pagkakulong, pagkabilanggo. It is usually a form of conventional punishment of criminal offender. Imprisonment, alam natin yan, ilalagay ka sa isang jail, sa isang building na kung saan malilimitahan na ang yung paggalaw. You will temporarily be deprived of your liberty. Isa yan conventional na pagpaparusa sa mga criminal offenders. And we have the word prison. Prison is the penitentiary, an institution for the confinement of persons convicted of major or heinous crime. While prisoner, on the other hand, is a person who is under the custody of the lawful authority, kagaya ng Bureau of Correction, a person who by reason of his criminal sentence or by a decision issued by the court may be deprived of his liberty or freedom. Okay? Siya naman yung nag-commit ng crime, patunayan ng ating hukuman siya nagkasala at siya ay deprived ng liberty or freedom. A person detained or confined in jail or prison for the commission of a criminal offense or convicted and serving in the penal institution. Prisoner ang tawag sa kanya. We have the three classifications of prisoners. Okay? Detention prisoners, those detained for investigation. preliminary hearing or awaiting trial. Yan ang common na mga detainee ang tinatawag sa kanila. Naghihintay, meron pa yung investigation, may naghihintay pa ng hearing or naghihintay pa siya ng trial. Sentenced prisoner, offenders who committed to the jail or prison in order to serve their sentence after final conviction by competent court. Sentence, there is already a decision. He is found or she is found guilty beyond reasonable doubt. So, she is committed to jail or prison dahil sineserve na niya ang kanyang sentence. And then prisoners on safekeeping, including non-criminal offenders who are detained or in order to protect the community against their harmful behavior. Sa Amerika, meron ito, usually yung mga mapanganib or pwedeng mapahamak na tao, they can temporarily detain them just for safekeeping. Usually sa ibang bansa, pag nakainom na sila, when they are drunk, they will go to police station and they will surrender themselves to be detained for safekeeping only. And the police officers can do also that detention of a person na alam nilang pwedeng protektahan ng community from their harmful behavior. We have the classifications of the sentenced prisoner. Sentence means meron siyang final conviction, final judgment. First, we have the insular or the national prisoner. Ang keyword mo dito, those sentenced to na mga tao to suffer a term of 3 years and 1 day to life imprisonment. 3 years and 1 day, yung kanyang separation, to life imprisonment. Provincial prisoners, on the other hand, those who to suffer the term of imprisonment from 6 months and 1 day to 3 years naman ito. 6 months and 1 day to 3 years. Kaya nga yung national 3 years and 1 day, 2. Yan ang separation yung 1 day na yun. But the provincial 6 months and 1 day to 3 years. Or a fine not more than 1,000 pesos or both. Those detained were in awaiting for preliminary investigation of their cases cognizable by the regional trial court. Ang tawag sa kanila, mga provincial prisoners. We also have the city prisoners, those sentenced to suffer a term of imprisonment from 1 day to 3 years. 1 day to 3 years. Yan naman ang kanyang, or a fine not more than 1,000 pesos or both. Those detained therein whose case are cognizable by RTC and under preliminary investigation. And lastly, we have the municipal prisoners, those confined in municipal jails to serve an imprisonment from 1 day to 6 months. Those detained were in whose trial or their cases are pending in the municipal trial court. Again, let's repeat, municipal trial court, or I'm sorry, municipal prisoners, 1 day to 6 months. 1 day to 6 months. Ito namang city prisoners, 1 day to 3 years. 1 day to 3 years. Provincial, 6 months and 1 day to 3 years. 6 months and 1 day to 3 years. And insular, 3 years and 1 day to life imprisonment. 3 years and 1 day to life imprisonment. Those are the classification of sentenced prisoners. We also have the word jail, a place for locking up of persons who are convicted of minor offenses imposed upon them by a competent court, or for confinement of persons who are awaiting trial or investigation of their cases. So, jail, ang natin, locking up yan, mga tao na na-convict, pag mga minor offenses lang yan, at usually yung mga nasa BJMP, may competent court or by a fine of person, pwede yan naka-confine lang or naka-detain lang na naghihintay pa ng kanyang trial or the investigation ng kanyang kaso. Meron tayong types of jail, mga lock-up jails. Usually ito yung mga nasa mga police stations natin. Is a security facility common to police stations used for temporary confinement of an individual held for investigation. After that, we also have the ordinary jails. In this is the type of jails commonly used to detain a the convicted criminal offender to serve sentence less than 3 years. So, Actually, less than 3 years, nasa mga jails lang yan. And above 3 years, nasa mga bucor na yan. Sa mga prisons na. Workhouse, jail farm, or camp. Facilities that house minimum custody offenders who are serving short sentences or those who are undergoing constructive work program. Meron tayong mga workhouse, mga jail farms, mga camp, at iba't ibang mga type ng jail pa na usually yung mga hindi ganun kasiselan, yung mga minimum lang ang kailangan na custody sa kanila, yung mga trustee na or yung mga constructive yung kanilang program na ginagawa sa kanila. So but generally they are the types of jails. We also have the word release, the stage wherein the convicted, after serving his sentence or period of probation or parole, is finally granted the right of a free man by restoring his entire constitutional and civil rights taken from him as a result of a commission of crime. Siyempre, kung meron conviction, kung meron decision, meron service ng kanyang sentence, once na-serve na niya, na-satisfy na niya ang kanyang sentence, consequence ng kanyang criminal act or transgression of the law, may release. Ito na, pag nirelease ka, ibig sabihin, natapos mo yung sentence mo, na-serve mo, or tapos yung probation mo, yung, o naka-grant ka ng parole, i-restore na sa iyo yung right mo bilang free man, malayang tao. Deprive ka ng freedom and liberty, i-restore din sa iyo yan. Your constitutional and civil rights will be restored because of your commission of crime. Excuse me. Excuse me. Let's continue. Okay, so far, those are the things that we need to discuss under the fourth pillar of the criminal justice system. These are the basic knowledge na kailangan malaman natin. And you do some more research pa para lumawak ito. At least we have the basic, at least an introduction for the correction pillar of the criminal justice system. Thank you very much. Jesus saves, and to God be the glory.